He was already a wealthy man. He owned a construction company worth $17 million. He had a family. He had a reputation. He told reporters, "I just want to work and live my life. I'm going to tithe 10% to the church and I'm going to help my family." It sounded like the perfect American dream. A hard-working man gets a massive windfall and uses it for good. But within 4 years, Jack Whittaker would be broke, alone, and broken. His granddaughter would be dead. His daughter would be dead. His wife would leave him. He would be sued hundreds of times. He would later tell a reporter, "I wish I'd torn that ticket up." This is the story of the lottery curse. And it is the ultimate case study in fiscal psychology. It proves that money does not solve problems. Money amplifies them. If you are generous, money makes you a philanthropist. If you are reckless, money makes you a disaster. If you are addicted, money kills you. Jack Whittaker wasn't a bad man, but he was a man with cracks in his foundation. And when you pour $300 million of pressure onto a cracked foundation, the house collapses. The first crack was his inability to say no. As soon as he won, the letters started coming. Thousands of them. People asking for money for surgeries, for houses, for cars, for business ideas. Strangers would camp out on his lawn. They would follow him to his office. Jack wanted to be the big man. He wanted to be the hero. So he started writing checks. He gave away $50 million in the first year alone. But it wasn't enough. It is never enough. When you become a source of free money, you stop being a person. You become a resource. You become a target. People stopped treating him like a friend and started treating him like a bank. His relationships became transactional. He became paranoid. He started drinking heavily to cope with the pressure. The second crack was the endowment effect on steroids. Jack started carrying massive amounts of cash. He would walk around with $100,000 in a briefcase. He would leave it in his car at strip clubs. He was robbed over and over again. Thieves broke into his car and stole $500,000. They drugged his drink at a casino. He wasn't just careless. He was signaling. He was using the money to prove he was untouchable. But in reality, he was making himself the most vulnerable man in America. But the tragedy wasn't just financial. It was human. Jack gave his granddaughter, Brandy, a massive allowance. She was 17 years old. Suddenly, she had thousands of dollars a week in cash. She didn't have to work. She didn't have to study. She attracted a crowd of friends who were only there for the money. The money fueled a drug addiction that spiraled out of control. Jack tried to save her. He paid for rehab. He paid for everything. But he couldn't pay for her to have a purpose. 2 years after the jackpot, Brandy was found dead of an overdose. She was wrapped in a plastic sheet and left behind a van. Jack blamed the money. He said, "My granddaughter is dead because of the Powerball." This is the dark side of financial freedom that nobody talks about. We think that if we had unlimited money, we would be happy. But for many people, work is the only thing holding their life together. The struggle gives them structure. It gives them a reason to get out of bed. When you remove the struggle, you remove the structure. If you don't have a strong internal compass, you spin out of control. Jack Whittaker's story is an extreme example, but it illustrates a universal law: your financial thermostat. Every person has a subconscious setting for how much wealth they can handle. If you are set at $50,000 and you suddenly get $1 million, your subconscious will sabotage you until you are back at 50,000. You will make bad investments. You will overspend. You will get scammed. You will find a way to return to your comfort zone. Jack Whittaker was a successful businessman, but his thermostat was set for a life of work and struggle. When he was given a life of unlimited leisure and power, his system overheated and exploded. So, what can we learn from this tragedy? How do we prepare ourselves for wealth so that it blesses us instead of cursing us? Lesson 1. Build the container before you pour the water. You cannot build a foundation after the house is built. You have to build your character, your discipline, and your boundaries before you get the money. If you can't manage $1,000, you can't manage $1 million. If you can't say no to a friend asking for $20, you can't say no to a friend asking for $20,000. Lesson 2. Anonymity is an asset. If Jack had claimed the prize anonymously, which wasn't allowed in his state at the time, but is in many places now, he might have saved his life. Wealth is best enjoyed in silence. The moment you flash your money, you invite the parasites. Stealth wealth isn't just about being humble. It is about being safe. Lesson 3. Purpose over pleasure. Jack tried to buy happiness. He bought cars, he bought attention, he bought fun, but he didn't have a purpose for the money other than consumption. Money needs a job. If you don't give your money a job, investing, building, creating, it will find a job on its own. And that job will usually be destroying you. Jack Whittaker died in 2020. He died broke and alone. His legacy is not the hospitals he built or the churches he funded. His legacy is a warning sign. It is a warning that the dream of winning the lottery is actually a nightmare if you aren't awake enough to handle it. Don't wish for the jackpot. Wish for the strength to earn it. Don't wish for the easy way out. Wish for the character to handle the hard way. Because if you get the money without the character, you don't own the money. The money owns you.